Well, so here's James Carville. Here's what he had to say about your idea. Take a listen.
The most insane thing I ever heard is the vice chair of the Democratic National Committee is spending $20 million running against other Democrats. Aren't we supposed to run against Republicans?
What's your response?
What's his plan to deal with our 27% approval rating? That's my question to him. The fact of the matter is right now, our party is in a crisis.
A few moments later.
Are we really going to do this? Are we really going to? We just got clobbered with young people. We got clobbered by males. We got clobbered by identity politics. And you're going to wade right back into this? Jesus Christ, has anybody ever learned anything? David Hogg made a mistake. Ken Martin should call him in, read the riot act, pass a resolution saying you can't do this, and get on with life. But if we're going to chase every goddamn 25-year-old that says some jackass thing out of the party and under the grounds of some allocated positions based on gender or ethnicity or whatever the fuck they do, we're just doing the same thing. We never learn. We never learn.
I know.
You saw what happened with young voters. You saw what happened to male voters. You saw what happened, the staggering unpopularity of this. And you're going to go right back into it?
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I gotta tell you guys, the Democrat clown show just got more entertaining, right? I know it's hard to believe, right, that the Democrats could become more of an embarrassment, that their party could be more of a mess, a complete and total disaster that it already is, but it's happening. It is happening because the DNC is moving to void their leadership election, which ended up with David Hogg and Malcolm Kenyatta becoming vice chairs of the party. But now the DNC is saying, no, we don't want David Hogg to be a leader anymore because he decided that he's going to challenge Democrats who are not woke enough. That and the fact that some of his recent comments about how the Democrats are struggling with men, which they are, and David Hogg's kind of solution to the Democrats' struggle with men was causing some backlash and some controversy because, you know, David Hogg thinks that the way that Democrats can win back young men is, I guess, helping them get laid, right? Helping them clap cheeks. Right? This is what he said on Bill Maher's show. Again, as the Democrats struggle with men.
Testosterone into the debate, bashing his own party for being too hostile toward men.
What we have to do here is figure out how to bring people back in and work towards the bigger goal of advancing the future of this country and helping young people especially get by so that they're able to focus on their lives and, you know, getting with a young woman or something like that instead of how are they going to pay their rent, for example, or how are they working their two jobs. Young people should be able to focus on what young people should be focused on, which is how to get laid and how to go and have fun.
So, at the same time, this might alienate men. Jasmine Crockett is dividing her party by race and gender.
There's a lot of people that are like, you know what? Like, let's go find the safest white boy we can find. I mean, I'm just saying.
Those are the callers that we're hearing. We're hearing people.
No, for real.
A white man's got to do it. We're getting those callers.
For real. And to be clear, when we talk about them, I can tell you that there is one specific candidate. I had a donor on the phones with me telling me that all the donors are lining up behind that candidate. So I can tell, and I can tell you it's not a black person nor woman.
Harold, tell us what you think about either David Hogg or Jasmine Crockett's accusations.
So, you know, David Hogg is, I just turned 55. He's 25 years or 30 years older than me, younger than me. I don't know, maybe that's what maybe that's what he wants to do. But I think that Democrats need to be more focused on the issues that everyday people care about. Congresswoman Crockett has a theory of the case. I'm not sure it's the right one, but she has every right to have that theory. I think whichever candidate in the Democratic Party comes forward with a set of ideas and a set of solutions to people's everyday challenges.
Hogg says, don't lie to voters, just help them get laid and have fun.
How nihilistic and also how dismissive of all the concerns that young people are feeling right now. The Democrats the last couple of years, and Hogg is half right about this, they have lost young people, especially young men. When I go to these college campuses, though, they don't just want to have more degeneracy or debauchery. They're looking for something greater, something higher. They're in the pursuit of something good and true and beautiful. Remember, if you're on a college campus right now, the very young people that we at Turning Point USA are winning over, large in part thanks to President Trump, you suffered under the lies and the deception of COVID, of wearing a mask while you shower, of the 9th booster shot, of the hyper-policing of every pronoun and every syllable that you say. And they want something greater than that, not something darker and something that is rooted in a cynical worldview. And David Hogg is so dismissive of young people that want to have a mission, that want to have meaning, that don't just want to pursue what makes them feel good, but instead young people increasingly want to do good. This is also why we're seeing young people go back to church. According to Axios, a story just a couple days ago, church attendance is going up large in part thanks to young Gen Z men. David Hogg is selling a very dark worldview, and we are going to embrace one that lifts people up and one that is rooted in eternal principle.
Yeah, hey, and, that has led to a whole lot of backlash.
Bitch, I'm back, but I have a question. Before I go on vacation, I'm going to need y'all Democrats to get y'all shit together. We need to figure out what we need to do about David Hogg, okay? Y'all need to hog tie his ass into the motherfucking basement until we're able to get a new motherfucking DNC vice chair because his ass got to go. At this damn point, he talks about, Democrats' approval rating is 27%. By the time his ass is through and doing this motherfucking campaign and going from pillar to damn post talking shit about Democrats, our approval rating is going to be at damn zero by the time he get through with our asses because I don't see how he's being helpful. He spends every day of every motherfucking second causing more voter apathy, talking about what Democrats aren't motherfucking doing, talking trash about the Democratic Party than being helpful and actually letting the American people know what Democrats are doing to actually combat the Trump administration. The Democratic Party's job is about policy, ideology, not how you're going to get some motherfucking. It is not our job to try to appeal to white male fragility, knowing the mere fact that your ass is feeling, I gotta walk on an eggshell because I can't be misogynistic, I can't be racist, I can't be homophobic, I can't be xenophobic, I can't be transphobic, I can't be all of the things that I am because I want to feel good about myself. I want you to, make me feel good that I'm a horrible motherfucking human being. It's not our motherfucking job.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that, okay? Apparently, again, David Hogg and the things he's saying is rubbing people the wrong way. Again, including his comments about how Democrats need to help young men get laid, right? That's their way of trying to get young men back, right? Basically selling them some booty, right? That's David Hogg's big idea, right? But, yeah, that apparently is not going to save him, okay? Because his party is super woke. And this is where this story gets absolutely hilarious, right? Because it really is damned if you do, damned if you don't for Democrats. And what I'm about to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. Because I just want to remind you that the Democrat leadership, right? The Democrat leadership, the elections were extremely woke. Okay, they were very woke, if you guys remember correctly.
My name is Troy Blackwell. I know that I'm a new face to many of you, but I'm a proud Afro-Latino from the South Bronx, New York. I got into this work because at the age of 18, unfortunately, I was the victim of a hate crime. Today, I stand before you as one of the first non-binary candidates to run in the DNC's 177-year history. I'm proud to be the only Afro-Latino in this race. I'm asking you to take a chance on someone like me, a proud non-binary Afro-Latino from the South Bronx.
The final tally of votes, Troy Blackwell, 0.
Welcome. The Democratic National Committee wishes to acknowledge that we gather together to state our values on lands that have been stewarded through many centuries by the ancestors and the descendants of tribal nations who have been here since time immemorial. We honor the communities native to this continent and recognize that our country was built on indigenous lands and hope.
My people are sick and tired of being sick and tired. We are sick and tired of being the last one hired and the first one fired. We are sick and tired of the word white, working class, being a code word for whiteness. We are tired And this is our time for us to rise up. One people, one nation, under the divine, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hello, Democrats. Hey, I am speaking, and I would love your attention. There is a black woman at this podium, and I deserve your attention like the 11 people who went before me. Yes, I am speaking.
Good evening, Democrats. Look up here. 3 strong black women standing before you. 3 black women who, rather than just grabbing a chair, ran for chair.
Te quiero mucho, Papa. Gracias por todo. My name is Artie Blanco, Freddie Blanco's daughter. Vote for me for vice chair.
Look at this room, y'all. Truly take it in. This is the Democratic Party.
Boy, I cannot get enough of this. This story is amazing. Absolutely amazing story. Because the Democrats, the DNC, right, they had a committee panel meeting today, okay? And during this panel meeting, okay, they discussed how they're going to get rid of David Hogg. Now, the reason why they're trying to get rid of David Hogg, we know why. They're trying to get rid of him because of the fact that he's going to primary Democrats who aren't woke enough, right? And you have a lot of Democrats concerned that, hey, he's going to be targeting so-called black and brown people, right? Because a lot of these liberal cities have Democrats that are in pretty safe districts, okay? And they're electing lunatics, right? But for whatever reason, David Hogg doesn't feel like some of these lunatics are far left enough, right? So he's going to be challenging those people. So a lot of so-called black and brown people are going to get challenges from David Hogg, right? And they're pissed off about that. So what they're using is a procedural kind of technicality to justify ousting David Hogg. Basically, what they're saying is that their elections, right, their woke elections were sexist, right? They were sexist, and that the women didn't have a fair shot, and that is why they need to hold new elections in order to replace David Hogg. Take a look.
Mr. Chairman, I think I just want to say, first of all, echoing a bit of what Mr. Jacobs said, we're a party that believes in doing the right thing. We're a party that believes in fair elections. And this election in no way, shape, or form was fair. It could have been fair. It was unusual and not anticipated in any of the rules. December 12th, January 25th, the late night email that went out, it was never anticipated that there was going to be a male ballot, a male vote, and a all gender ballot combined. And so understandably, whoever put that together got confused and failed to, they decided we're going to save some time. We're going to put them both on the ballot and then we're going to have a vote. But the failure here that no chair can take responsibility for this. You can't give the chair the right to overcome this when the chair's not going to stand up there and say, we want the men, now that we're going to collapse the voting into one question, we're going to give the men twice as many votes as the women. The idea that David Hogg got 291 votes in his, 214 votes in losing to Malcolm Kenyatta in 512 votes, which should have been 411. The idea that he got 214 and that they count again in the all gender ballot, he had a 214 vote lead on the women before they ever started the counting is just not fair and not the right thing to do. And so the mistake was made. What was done was fine, putting two questions on there. It made it confusing, but we had two lines on the ballot. The mistake was made when they said, when they didn't say you must put the male ballot and the male vote first and the all gender vote second. And that's where the train came off the tracks. And David Hogg got to count 214 votes twice. The men had access to 817 votes. The women had no chance of winning this election. This was a failed election. It should be redone. It's not that inconvenient. If we're a party of fair elections, and if we want to do the right thing, we have to stand up and make sure we do something to correct this.
Yeah, so basically in a nutshell, what you have here are the leaders of the Democratic Party basically saying that the election was sexist, right? That the women didn't have a fair shot because of some procedural technicality. So therefore, that opens up the door to have new elections, okay? Because the initial elections weren't fair. AKA, Democrats are trying to overthrow democracy within their own party once again because they don't like who they elected into leadership, because David Hogg basically stabbed him in the back with this plan to oust Democrats who aren't woke enough, even though the party's woke as hell. And that's why I say that this is damn if you do, damn if you don't. Because you guys notice, okay, in that clip that I played of the candidates who were running for David Hogg's position, right, the DNC vice chair position, they're all woke as hell. They're woker than David Hogg. The only difference is that they're not trying to primary Democrats for not being woke enough, like David Hogg, right? And that's the hilarious part about it, because it doesn't matter who they replace David Hogg with. They're still going to have the same problem, right? If anything, it might get worse because they're going to replace David Hogg with a more far-left lunatic, right? So, again, this is hilarious stuff. Let's read about what happened here during this meeting. A Democratic National Committee panel on Monday recommended a new election for the post held by Vice Chair David Hogg, whose effort to challenge asleep at the wheel Democrats sparked a firestorm in the National Party. While the panel's move was based on a procedural complaint unrelated to the broader controversy surrounding Hogg, the committee is giving DNC members another option to squeeze the vice chair after he promised to spend $20 million in Democratic primaries against incumbent House members in safe blue districts. Hogg and DNC chair Ken Martin have been dueling over Hogg's plans. Most recently, Martin said Hogg should either sign a neutrality pledge or step down from his post. On Monday, the DNC Credentials Committee heard a complaint that alleged the body bungled its own rules when Hogg and Malcolm Kenyatta were elected as vice chairs in February. To move forward, the full national body would have to sign off on the resolution the committee approved. If it does, it would call for a new election for the two vice chair posts in question, and therefore would remove Hogg and Kenyatta from their posts. In a statement, Hogg said it's, quote, impossible to ignore the broader context of my work to reform the party, which loomed large over this vote. Quote, the DNC has pledged to remove me, and this vote has provided an avenue to fast track that effort, Hogg said. The challenge was brought by Oklahoma DNC member Kaylin Free, who argued that the party violated its own rules and made it harder for a woman to be elected vice chair. Yeah, so what you have here, again, is a woke backlash against David Hogg, right? Because, again, there are too many men on the leadership. So therefore, they're using this as an excuse to get rid of the guy because they don't like the fact that he's primary Democrats, okay? But, you know, this person's complaint was filed before Hogg promised to challenge fellow Democrats. Regardless, nobody can deny that that definitely has an impact on the vote. The committee voted 13-2 on Monday evening after about more than 3 hours of discussion. Yeah, so 13-2. Yeah, that doesn't sound good for David Hogg. The party's rules state that the DNC's governing body should achieve gender parity or get as close to it as possible. Free argued, according to her initial complaint, which was shared with Politico, that Kenyatta and Hogg had access to more votes than Free and to other women running for the slot because the DNC's rules were not properly followed and made it, quote, impossible for any woman to win the race. Quote, I have always known that the Democrat Party is the party of free and fair elections. Today, the Credentials Committee of the DNC confirmed that correcting mistakes in process and protecting democracy is more important than saving face, Free said in a statement after the vote. Yeah, so, yeah, we know what this is about, okay? I just find it hilarious that they're using sexism as the reason why they want to oust David Hogg, right? They're saying that the elections were sexist, okay? They were rigged. So now, again, they're overthrowing democracy within their own party once again, right? Because this is the Democrat Party. They don't believe in democracy, right? And that's what you're seeing. Now, like I told you guys, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? If they get rid of David Hogg and Malcolm Kenyatta, both woke as hell, they're only going to replace them with more woke lunatics. So either way is fine to me, right? If they have new elections, that's more content for me to mock and ridicule, right? To be honest with you. So, hey, I'm hoping they move forward with it. I just find it hilarious how Democrats got on board with David Hogg being in leadership in the first place, right? They got in bed with this far-left gun grabber, right? What qualifies him to be a leader of the Democrat Party, right? He's not qualified at all. So it's kind of funny because Democrats are getting exactly what they deserve. So it looks like they're actually going to oust David Hogg. We will see if the DNC leadership will sign off on this and their final vote or whatever they need to do. But I will say this about David Hogg. One thing he is right about is the fact that Democrats are struggling with men, okay, even though he doesn't have the solution. Part of the reason why Democrats are struggling with men is because of males like him, right? Males like him and Tim Walz and others. Yeah, they're not helping the Democrat Party when it comes to that, right? Not to mention the fact they have a bunch of racists, right? Mainly women who hate white males, right? So, again, they're not winning back white males. I don't care who they put out there. They can put out David Hogg. They can put out Tim Walz. They can put out Gavin Newsom. Doesn't matter who it is, okay? I think Democrats are winning back white males. But we'll see, right? We'll see. This is who they want back in the party, right? And the far left lunatics, they don't want that. I will say, again, David Hogg is right about the Democrats and how they can't be a party of just hating Trump, right? I will give David Hogg a little bit of credit for that. He is correct about the fact that Democrats believing that all they need to do is just to hate Trump more as a winning strategy is just not going to win, right? It's not going to cut it. They have to actually stand for something. The problem with David Hogg is that he doesn't represent what Democrats should stand for, right? He's wrong, okay, in regards to what they should stand for. He's too far left, okay? He doesn't realize that, but he has properly diagnosed the fact that Democrats are not going to win on the path they're on right now, right? With this whole let's just oppose Trump no matter what thing, it's not going to work, right? I just don't think it's going to work because everything that Trump is doing is not bad, right? So when you come out here and you say everything he's doing is bad, even though it's not, that's a problem, right? That's going to be a big, big, big problem. So regardless, again, for Democrats, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. They are the party of freaks, weirdos, high-calorie women, and low testosterone men. And it doesn't matter who is elected into leadership. You're going to get at least somebody that fits that profile, right? You're going to get a freak. You're going to get a weirdo, a lunatic. You're going to get a high-calorie woman or a low testosterone male. And that's it, right? That's just what it is. So again, this is fascinating, a fascinating development. It looks like David Hogg is on the way out, but we will see. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.